Gromit grabs a book, zooming in the magazines. Then Wallace spins a globe, zooming in the book, saying, "Picnic by Daisy." Then Wallace spins the globe. Wallace. These bank holidays. It's a problem to decide. Gromit sleeps. Wallace. Tell you what, Gromit, lad. Gromit wakes up. Let's have a nice hot cup of tea. Gets out of the chair. This kettle should have boiled by now. Walks to a tray, putting a plate and teapot on, pouring water in, dumping crackers on a plate, then opening a refrigerator. No cheese. Gromit. Gromit looks at Wallace. Wallace. Not a bit in the house. Takes a tray to Gromit, eating a cracker. Gromit. That's it. Cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese. Now then, where were we? Places you find cheese. Looking at a magazine. Lancashire, Cheddar, Wensleydale, Philadelphia, Tesco's. They both look at the window. Wallace. Everybody knows the moon's made of cheese. The rat sniffs. Then Wallace opens the door, turning on the light, walking downstairs, turning on the light, sharpening a pencil, blowing it out, drawing lines, flipping another paper, drawing tic-tac-toe, drawing another pictures, then drawing a rocket, with Wallace and Gromit, drawing flames, then he saws, breaking the ledge, then cut to Gromit, reading electronics for dogs, then Wallace whistles, then he continues sewing with Gromit standing as the broken ledge, then Wallace saws and Gromit hammers nails, then drilling the wood, then Wallace hammering a nail, then Gromit drills the wood, spinning around, then Gromit puts his mask on, with sparks on, taking his mask off, then back off, putting sparks on again, then Wallace paints the rocket, then Gromit paints the rocket, dripping the paint on Gromit, walking backwards to Gromit, patting on Gromit, then they look at a rocket, then Wallace walks down, looking at Gromit, pressing buttons, walking down, climbing up on the ladder, whistling, going in the rocket, pressing the buttons, then Wallace walks to Gromit, then Wallace grabs the headphones. Wallace. Everything seems to be under control. Falls to the ground, stretching his ears, sliding down. Then Wallace takes out a match, lighting it, firing the fuse, then climbing up, going back in the rocket. 60 seconds to blast off. Gromit pulls a lever, looking at a clock. Wallace. Oh, allotment doors. Gromit pulls the lever down, opening the roof. Wallace. Oh, looking around, no crackers. Gromit. We've forgotten the crackers. Gromit looks at Wallace climbing down, running upstairs. Wallace. Hold on, Gromit. Hold on. Grabs crackers. Gromit looks at the clock. The rocket continues firing up, running downstairs. Then the rocket continues firing up, closing the door. Then the clock rings. Then the rats sniff. Then the rocket starts to rumble, dumping the paint, putting glasses on, then pulling the lever down, firing up, flying out of the earth. Wallace. Grommit. The bowl rattles, and TV rattles. Then Gromit pulls a lever. Then Gromit shuffles the cards. Then Wallace looks at a newspaper. Then Gromit puts cards together. Then Wallace puts the newspaper down, whistling, putting a card on it, grabbing a camera, rubbing it, taking a picture of Gromit. Wallace. One for the album. Then they hear a strange noise. What? The toaster pops the toast out, taking the bread out. Wallace. Oh. Nicely done. Eats the bread. Gromit continues putting cards up, then hearing a buzzer, and a ringer. Then Wallace looks at a sun, looking around, looking at a telescope. Wallace. Adjust angle of thrust. Steady now. Easing up. Steady. The rocket continues firing up. Wallace. Gently does it. Pulls a lever. They both land on the moon. Then they walk out. Then Wallace kicks the ball up. Then they continue walking. Wallace. Nice drop of tea to get the taste buds going. Drinks the cup. Plate. Gromit takes a plate to Wallace. Wallace. Knife. Gromit takes a knife to Wallace. Wallace. Cracker. Gromit takes the cracker to Wallace, cutting the cone, putting butter on it, eating it. Wallace. See what you think. Takes a bowl to Gromit, sniffing it. Wensleydale. Gromit shakes his head. Wallace. Stilton. Swallows his cracker. I don't know, lad. It's like no cheese I've ever tasted. Let's try another spot. Grabs Gromit. They both walk down, walking to a refrigerator, putting a coin inside, then trying to pull a drawer, then tapping the top. Wallace. Come on, stupid. Pulls a broken part out. Oh. Puts a broken part back in. Daylight robbery. They always nick your money, them flippin' machines. Come on, Gromit. They both walked down, switching the dial to 10p, taking the hands out, rubbing the top, stretching his hands, stretching the antenna, opening a drawer, grabbing a telescope, then putting the telescope back in the box, then putting the hands back in, rolling to the picnic, taking his hands out, grabbing the cup, putting it in the drawer, then putting the plate in the drawer, then putting everything in the drawer, rubbing his hands, grabbing a purse, taking out Skeeter book, looking at it, thinking of sledding, then putting the book down, closing the book, putting the book in the drawer, taking the cone, taking the glue out, gluing on, putting it back on, then putting the glue back in the drawer, rolling to the rocket, knocking the rocket, taking the pencil and notebook, looking at the sign, saying, Roll 155, drawing it, dripping the ink, then putting the notebook in the drawer, taking a telescope, looking at Wallace, eating a cracker, then putting a telescope back in, cracking his knuckles, taking a bat out, pounding on his hand, Wallace. It's different. The bat hits Wallace. Dialing to 0, Wallace. Camembert. Gets up, hitting the bat, then taking the bat, putting a coin in the refrigerator. Where you off to now? Takes a basket. Leave me to carry the basket, won't you? The refrigerator dials to 10p, stretching his arms, grabbing a telescope, looking at the rocket and the earth, then thinking of the refrigerator sliding down, putting the telescope back in, rolling to Wallace, climbing up, then the refrigerator tries to climb up, putting the ladder down, Wallace. Emergency countdown, 10 seconds and counting. The refrigerator takes out the pliers, cutting the rocket, Wallace. Hold tight, lad, and think of Lancashire hot pot. The refrigerator continues cutting the rocket, going in, moving the pipe, pouring water, grabbing a box, lighting a match, Wallace. Oh, the fuse. You forgot to light the fuse. The refrigerator light up with the skull, saying, Danger fuel, firing the fuse, rumbling, taking the piece out, firing up out of the moon, flying back to Earth. Then they look at the refrigerator, dropping the pieces, blowing the wind, putting skis on, sliding down, waving to the refrigerator. Then the refrigerator continues sliding down, Wallace. Set coordinates for 62 West Wallaby Street, puts butter on, eating the cracker, looking at a magazine. Gromit pushes the lever up, flying back to Earth.